Hello and welcome to this slipper tutorial. Oh my, where is the other slipper? Well, we're going to make it in this tutorial. This is pretty much designed for a man, and it's not a one-size-fits-all, because through here is where we have to measure around the back of the foot to determine what we will use in stitching and stuff. So here we have our little triangle piece that goes over the toes, and this goes around. Kind of simple, huh? Let me show you what we're going to use for our materials today. It's a great scrap yarn video or tutorial. Here I have some red, and here I have some yellow. Kind of looks like a favorite football team color, doesn't it? Well, we're on that track. I also have been using a Susan Bates. I got a crochet hook here, size H8, 5.00 millimeter. A large eye tapestry needle. We're going to be using that for sewing, and a small pair of scissors. Let's get started. As you can see, I have my yellow on my hook because we will be doing the triangle first. So with a slip knot on our hook, let's chain 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. Place your thumb on that 15th chain, and let's chain 2 more. Yarn over the hook, and the one that your thumb covered, we're going to add half of a double crochet, and we're going to do that twice. And what we're doing is we're making a cluster. Okay, so we did half a double crochet and left it on the hook. We didn't finish it off. Yarn over, did another half of a double crochet. Now that we have 3 loops on our hook, yarn over and through all 3, chain 1. We're going to skip the next chain, and in the next chain we're going to place 3 half of the completed double crochets. So we did half of 1, half of 2, half of 3. Now this time we have 4 loops on our hook, because on the other one that was our beginning, and this is what we'll have for the rest of the row. We'll have 4 loops on the hook, yarn over and through all 3, snug it up, chain 1. We're going to skip the next chain, and in that next chain we're going to do the same thing. So I'm going to encourage you to do that till you get to the rest of the row. You should have a total of 7. Let me double check. All right, let's check this here. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We will have 8 of them. I'll see you at the end of the row. So at the end of the row we have 8 clusters. Let's chain 2 and turn our work. So in this first chain 1 space, we're going to do the same thing all over again. 1, we're doing half of those double crochets, making a cluster, and then all of them together and chain 1. Okay, go all the way till you get to the end of the row. Okay, we should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. When you get to that one, go ahead and do your last cluster, and I'll show you how to finish the row. So after that 7th cluster, chain 1, then we're going to do a double crochet in this chain 1 space, the top of the chain there. What this is for, I wanted to show you real quick. See, we have the chain 2 on this side, which kind of acts as a double crochet. So this one's going to be the same way, and what that's going to do is it's going to allow the slipper part to not interfere with our clusters, but to allow something to adhere the slipper onto. So the next thing we're going to do is chain 2 and turn our work. We're going to skip this first cluster because what we're trying to do is decrease our rows. We're going to decrease till we only come up with 2 clusters in each row. So skip this one, and in the next chain 1 space, do your cluster, and then chain 1. Continue across until you get to the end right here, chain 1, and then you'll do a double crochet in that the top of that chain 2, and then you'll turn your work. Keep going. Make sure that you count your clusters each time. We started off with 8. We have 7. This row will have 6, 5, 4, 3, and 2. When you get to the end of the 2, I'll meet you there. Please pause your video. So after you've completed the 2 here at the top, remember to do your chain 1 and a double crochet, cut a little tail, and pull it through. We have now completed the first piece of our slipper, which is the triangle. Next, I'm going to ask you to go ahead and place a slip knot on your next color. Mine is the red. Okay, and then I want to point out something to you. You have a right side of your stitching, and then if you flip it over, you'll see this kind of stitching here. This is the back side of the stitches. We're only talking this first row here. So we want the right side of the stitching to show up on that first row. It also has that nice little edging there that we need to place on. So at the left side, let's go ahead and get into that first chain and do a slip knot. Now normally you want to measure around the foot. This will stop above the toes. Whoops, sorry. So this will stop above the toes. So that means this is going to come over to where your ankle is going to be, like right here. So you want to measure around. Well, I made it a little bit more simpler for you. So let me get my chart, and it will be helpful for whatever size slipper or shoe that you will wear. Now, even though I'm doing a crochet tutorial on this, I have made these slippers quite a number of times. Let me see if I can get this to read for you. Maybe that light's just too bright. How's that? Okay, let's start off with, these are men size shoes. Now, I don't know what the conversion is for women size shoes, but these are for men. So you want to chain 34. I put down stitches, but that's how many we'll end up putting on there. But this is chain 34. For a size 9 to 10, you want to chain 30. For a size 7 to 8, remember this is for men's shoes, you want to chain 24. Okay? So let's go ahead and place down the desired chains that we need. And I will meet you in just a second. So pause your video and place the chains that you need right here. And go all the way around, or make it as long as you need, and I'll show you what to do next. After you've made those chains, make sure that your chain is not twisted. Okay, and then bring it around to the other side where that chain 1 is at the end of the stitch too. And if you can't see it, make sure you pick up at least 2 stitches, 2 yarn strands. There we go. So I have 2 right there. Okay, tighten your chain up. And let's complete this with a slip stitch. All right, so that's what we got going. This will be our foot opening right here. I'll double check to make sure it's not twisted. Heaven forbid. You wouldn't want to rip all that out. Okay, so we're going to chain 2, and in that first double crochet that that first chain that you put down there, we're going to do 1 double crochet. Whoops, not that one, the next one over. Sometimes I hate chain stitching. I don't know why it's so hard. You know, it's funny. It doesn't matter if you're doing a video or not. Sometimes it just wants to show itself. Okay, so we have 1 double crochet. And here's number 2. All right, so however many chains you've made, include that chain 2 as one of your double crochets and go all the way around till you get to this side. Please pause your video. And this is what we have. Right here on our last stitch right here, we're going to place 3 double crochets. We're going to go to the next one, 3 double crochets. Okay, so we're going to do the next till we get here to where the 2 clusters are. Go that far and I'll meet you there. Please pause your video. The next place that we're going to place our 3 double crochets is right here in that chain 1. So we're going to skip over this cluster and right into that center 3 double crochets. You see how it's nice curve around here? Now we're going to go over to the other side of the cluster, and on to that double crochet we're going to place 3 double crochets. Okay, and as the other side, we're going to place 3 double crochets, same here, 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 and right here on the end. So go ahead and go that far, and I'll meet you there. Let's place a slip stitch right there at the top. Snug it up, chain 2. Now for this row and the next row, we're going to do 1 double crochet per stitch all the way around. At the end of each row, you will slip stitch and then chain 2. So continue around 2 times. Remember to chain 2 and slip stitch, and I will meet you there. So I started my next row, slip stitch, chain 2, and I double crocheted up to where I'm going to show you the point that I need to stop at. So what we're going to do is take this, the 2 colors, fold it in half, and place your needle. When you open it up, you'll have your center and 1 on each side. We're going to do a double crochet 3 together as a decrease stitch. So yarn over the one before the center, only through 2 loops, remove the needle, yarn over through the 2 loops, yarn over through the 2 loops. All right, we have 3 half done double crochets. Yarn over through all 4 loops on the hook and snug it up. Now we're going to continue with 1 double crochet per stitch until we get here to the front where the toe is at. So you'll see you have your center of those 3. Come forward. If you choose this one or this one, it doesn't matter. But we need to keep 3 of these stitches open so we can do another decrease. Go ahead and do that, and I'll meet you at the end of the row. Slip stitch, chain 2, double crochet. Now I wanted to point out to you, this row is going to be a little bit different. We're going to be placing 2 sets of double crochet 3 together and 1 double crochet by itself in the center. So right here where we've had our decreased stitching, that will get the 1. So you want to count back 1, 2, and 3, and you'll notice that this 4th one will be where your last regular double crochet will go. So into that 3rd one, don't complete your double crochets. We're doing the 3 together. One double crochet over the 3 of them from the previous row, and then our next one will be a double crochet 3 together again. So we will have 2 on this row. Okay, so here's our 3. Let's go and lock all that in. All right. So as you double crochet around, here's the toe. At the toe, we have the same thing that we're going to do. So this one will have 1, so you want to count back 3. 1, 2, 3, and that's where you will do your 3 double crochet, decrease, 1 double crochet, and 3 double crochet, decrease in that next 3. So right here is the 2 and then the 1. And then I'll meet you back around here and back over in this area again. Please pause your video. Let's move on. We're almost done. One more row. So you can start jumping for joy now because we are on our last row. You'll see here that I slip stitched, chain 2, started with my double crochets, and I stopped here because we are going to be doing 3 sets of the 3 together. And to determine how many you need, here's your center 1 stitch from the previous row, and here's the 3 and 3. So this was going to be your center. This is going to be number 3. So the center will be number 2. This will be number 1. We're going to go back. We're going to subtract again. 3, 2, and 1. And it looks like I have to do 1 more double crochet stitch. All right. And this is also part of the decrease for this particular row of taking up some more. So here's our first one. We're going to be decreasing 3. We're going for our second one. 1, 2, and 3. And then here's our last one. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, it'll make it a nice sharp curve there, and that is quite all right. Then we will do 1 double crochet around follow it around until we get here to the toe again. And you're going to count back the same thing. So we know the center is number 2, number 1, 1, 2, 3. So we'll stop right at that 4th one of 1 double crochet, and then we'll do the 3, 3, and 3. And once you get back here to the chain 2, slip stitch, and we are done. Make sure you leave a long tail because we are going to sew our bottom. I went ahead and cut it. I have a large amount of yarn here, probably about 18 inches. I'm going to go ahead and pull it through. Now, I know you're saying, well, this is in the middle of the shoe. You're going to go this way, and back to the center. So that way we make sure, because of the area of where it's at, that you're walking doesn't cut the yarn. So let's open it up and see what we have so far. You notice how this curves under and it looks just like the heel? Kind of looks like the other one, doesn't it? And let's go ahead and sew this up. So let's turn it. This is the outside, so we're going to take the inside and bring it to the outside. First thing we're going to do is start sewing in all these loose ends first. So with our needle, I'm going to show you how I thread my needles. I come up from behind, fold it, and take the folded yarn and bring it through the eye of the needle. Sometimes when you bring it through, you can snag, stretch, make the strands not right, and it's no fun playing with that. So with this maroon, we want to stay with the maroon color. So I'm going to go through these stitches right here, pull it through. You want to make it so that it's snug enough, but not tight. And I'm going to go over one stitch and under a few. And then come through here. I'm going to go back and do it again one more time. I'm going to go over that first one and under a few more and pull it up. And we'll cut it, and that's that. So you'll be doing that same thing to the yellow, keeping the yarn on the yellow at all times. Let's go ahead and do the very bottom. You're going to find this to be super simple. So go ahead and take and fold it so that we have basically just our half slipper. Okay. Now that we have our location of where this is even here and this is even here, we are just going to do a simple running stitch type. We're not doing a whip stitch. I found that when you put a whip stitch in it, it creates that crease in the center and it kind of hurts when you walk. So I'm going to go through those two. You see the little V stitch on the top? Going to go through those two, front and back. Now if you want to do like I do a few and then pull, it's quite all right. So we're going to do this all the way down to here. Then you come back this way, go all the way down to here, come back here, and then we're going to weave it within the middle here, cut our yarn, and we'll be finished. Go ahead and do that, and I'll see you in just a second. Now that all that stuff is sewn down, okay, see we pulled this nice and snug. So let's turn it inside out. Place your hand down in it. It's nice and smooth for me. And here, this has been my trying shoe. Everybody wants to try it on. Oh, I love them, I love them. Let me see what size you got. What do you think? They will keep your toes warm, trust me. So here we have our men's slippers. Use NFL colors if you choose, whatever your favorite team is. Men love NFL colors. So I hope this was a great tutorial for you. You'll find that once you get into the habit of making these, they are super simple. One thing to point out, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rows. So 3 rows is the reducing row, 2 rows is the regular row, 1 row is getting it started. Quick, simple. I know you'll enjoy them. Thanks so much for watching. I appreciate you being here with me. I hope that you have a happy, cool weather with these warm slippers. Till next time, bye-bye.